guest. So I'm Courtney Twist. This is my daughter Bella, who just got licensed. So this is her first Atomic team meeting as a licensed realtor, which is it's my proud mama moment. I'll be done, I promise. But today I have asked Michele Roderick, aka the General, if any of you follow her on Instagram, to speak because she is amazing and there's really no one like her. She and I have worked together for over 10 years. She was part of my leadership team with our independent brokerage that we had before coming over to EXP. And this woman is a force to be reckoned with. Nobody says no to her. And I said, you know what? Let's get you on to see, kind of share some of your secret sauce with everybody on how to do what you do. She was the top 1% in the world in pharmaceutical sales before she got into real estate. So I guess it makes sense that she's a good saleswoman. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Michele, why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about yourself and how name?
So thank you, Courtney. It's funny because people actually do try to say no to me, but I don't take that, I don't take those no's and go, okay. And I kind of take those as just a sign that we need to have more conversations on how we get to the yes, right? So anyhow, thank you. Courtney and I have been working together, like she said, for over 10 years. And I had a career in pharmaceutical sales for a good while and had some success. So I think at the end of the day, I was talking to my husband about this morning because I was like, what could I possibly do to share some value with all of you today? And prior to pharmaceutical sales, I was in sales, and I think it's just one of those, excuse me, one of those things that I'm just a savage. My father is a retired Marine, and I lived that life for a long time, my whole life. And so I've been around a lot of discipline and structure, and a lot of difficult conversations. And so it's not uncomfortable for me. I had to kind of be raised with a lot of grit, and that's something that Courtney and I, you know, tend to be attracted to. We like those people with that grit. So that's kind of my background, and that's where my name, the General, came from. Courtney actually came up with that because I'm a little bit, a little bit on it most of the time. So that's it. That's what else?
So you built a successful career in both pharma and real estate. What are some of like the lessons that you've learned early on that you're able to apply now?
I think the lessons that I've learned in sales in general that has translated to all of the things, real estate, and even in my relationships, is having the ability to tell a story. And whether that story is, trying to convince someone to hire you to sell a house, trying to convince someone to join your organization, trying to get your husband to like do something that he doesn't want to do, whatever it is, having the ability to articulate the story and tell the story and then close based on what you've communicated to those people. So it's sounds so basic, but it really is kind of a flawless system, right? Like I'm going to talk to you about A, B, C, and D. And then based on what I just shared with you, I'm going to ask you to do E, F, and G. Does that make sense? And if they don't, then you need to go back and tell the story again.
So when you're walking into a conversation, like as we said, you're known for getting a yes. What's your mindset?
Most of the time, I'm just like trying to connect, and I think it's Don Yoakum that maybe Don Yoakum and Justin said to me a long time ago that like I'm a connector, and truly that's all I'm trying to do off the jump is connect with people. Like, hey, I just want to get to know you, and I whether that's through social media, text messaging, phone calls, all of the above. These types of meetings. There's some people that are on this meeting today that I invited so that they can get to know our organization. And the conversation is coming from a place of just connecting initially. And so there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
Right. Well, so speaking of that, so while Michele and I have worked together for 10 years, tell everybody when you actually got licensed as a realtor.
Oh my gosh, I got licensed probably, I mean, I don't want to say like record speed, but pretty quickly. Right when we decided to join EXP, I had to become licensed. So officially it was the end of 2023, which Courtney brought the brokerage over in October, I believe. And so literally within 2 months or 2 to 3 months, I got my license.
So you're a new realtor. You and I are both deciding that we're going to have a lot of focus on building our organization and with some focus on the revenue share side of the model. And you decide to reach out to someone by DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
Talk to everybody about that.
So I don't know. I watched The Housewives of Orange County, and I've followed Gina Kirschenheiter's story for years, ever since she's been on the show. And I knew that she had gotten licensed in as a realtor in California. And I thought, gosh, I wonder who she's with in terms of brokerages. And she posts on social media a sign with a phone number. So I started digging into who her brokerage was at the time, and its first team, which is independent. And I was like, why is she with, I mean, she's a really smart person. Why would she be with them? So yeah, I reached out to her.
So my point of that is like Michelle approaches things with no fear whatsoever. She goes and she DMs an influencer with 800,000 plus followers on Instagram, and Michelle's a brand new licensed realtor. And my anybody can do it. You just
Yeah.
have to not be afraid to ask, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it wasn't going anywhere with her. So I was like, what else could I possibly do? And so I knew Travis, her boyfriend and business partner, was also licensed. And I thought, well, I'll hit him up. And he gave me a no. He was like, nope, not interested. Don't think it makes any sense. And I was like, no, it totally makes sense. Like, you need to take this meeting. I mean, even if you don't come with us, you definitely need to have a conversation around a cloud-based model and how that would really impact your business now. He felt like they weren't ready for a switch. So I just had to like keep pushing him. And then and by the way, Courtney didn't even know any of this. That the half the time she has no idea what I'm working on. So eventually he agreed to the meeting. And I think I told her the day of, like, oh, by the way, we have like a pretty big meeting like soon. Because people flake all the time on these meetings. So, anyways, yeah, you just got to stay persistent.
So you got objections. How do you typically handle objections?
So, I leverage all the people in our world. So, all of the people that are on this meeting, Courtney Twist, Tom Daves, Don Yoakum, Stephanie Peck, everybody in our organization, there's not one person that can't handle an objection. So, I just put all the players together and say, here you go.
That's awesome. It's clearly working for you. I mean, I would say something I've noticed about you is, I guess it would be discipline, right? With your being raised in a military family, but how do you stay so consistent and focused?
Oh, I mean, I definitely thank you for giving me those accolades, but there's room for actually, I am really disciplined, but I always feel like I could be better. But it's one of those things that I just critique myself all the time. I think knowing your strengths. My strengths are just getting on the phone, getting on the DMs, doing the text messages, and knowing exactly what your strengths are and what you're meant to do and what you're called to do. Like that's it. Like that's what I need to be doing. And you just have to like make sure that you're consistent on those things and then get help on the other things.
Do you have any system, anything that you've put in place to help you with this or when you're bringing agents on into your organization?
Well, I mean, you and I are like leaning on the things that EXP has, like for onboarding. I mean, Megan knows this. It's like I said, Megan, there's like this new 2 hour onboarding thing that agents can do. And so they get a little certificate, like lean on the things that we already have in place. And I always remind myself, like all of these legends in our organization, Don Yoakum and like none of them were like using social media to bring on, they still don't. You don't see Don Yoakum doing stories and reels. Like if they can do it, we can do it. And we don't have to like put all this pressure on ourselves that we need to like be doing reels and stories and I'm taking the time like you can, obviously. I'm just saying like I just learned from the people that have done it before me and I'm totally convinced that the way you do that is just to pick up the phone and connect with people and just do that over and over and over again. It's a numbers game. So that's the system. Make the calls, connect.
Looks like Dawn has a question for you, General.
Okay.
Well, what I notice, Michelle, when your recruits get to me is that you've built this incredible rapport with them. It's almost like you're friends with them and they're not even in our company yet. So what are you doing? I mean, initially, of course, you're making a recruiting solicitation, right? But I just feel like, I don't know if it's because you've been working with them for quite a while before you get to me or what, but I just feel like everybody's your second best friend by the time they get to me. So what's your special sauce for warming that rapport?
Oh my gosh, I learned that like decades ago. I mean, I'm the person that like would go into and Courtney sees this about me. Like even when I go into a retail shop and I'm checking out, I by the time I'm checking out, I know the story of the cashier. Like I know where they're going to school. Um, Amanda Miller hired her assistant, who was a waitress serving cocktails one night after an event. Like I was like, "What are you doing? Where'd you go to school?" I'm just naturally curious about people, so it's just not my approach in recruiting people. It's just my approach in life. I'm just generally curious about people, and I try to remember people's names, and I send cards. It's connecting, Dawn. I mean, that's what you said about me. Like I just do that. That's just how I am, and I think that's not authentic, right? Like I'm not like a phony when I'm picking up the phone, calling people and becoming friends. It's just who I am. I'm just a
Right.
curious person.
I love you. I can
Yeah, well, it's
that.
obviously working. And it also, by the way, it makes it a little bit easier for us because there's such a comfortable rapport already. I don't feel like I'm going into this high pressure sales situation. It's like, I'm practically talking to a friend of a friend.
Well, and I mean, I think this would be helpful to some of you guys. Can you raise your hand? Who is actively trying to grow an organization that's on the call today? Okay, good. So like majority. So part of Michelle's secret sauce, I think too, other than obviously her conversations with people, tell them what you send a potential recruit after your first call with them.
Oh my gosh, I have a pretty I send them our video that we produce. So it's like and here's the other thing that's one of my strengths is I am like a really, really firm believer in follow-up. And what I mean by that is it's not like just a text or a phone call or an email. Like as soon as I get off the phone, there is a subject line of non-urgent follow-up from today. And I give them our video, our EXP overview PDF. And then depending on the call, like if it was somebody that's with an independent broker, I'll do like the Inman video. So I'll add that in there. And then our organizational chart that shows all of our senior business partners. So they have all of those things like immediately after I speak with them. But I am on it. Dawn knows this about me, and Courtney knows this about me. I am on it with text messages. So I am like, we have an appointment tomorrow. We have an appointment this morning. Like I'm constantly reminding people of their commitment that they made to me on what they're going to do. So that's kind of my flow on that.
Yeah, and I notice the further out the appointment is, the earlier in the process. Like if it was booked 3 weeks out, then I notice about a week before the appointment, oh my gosh, it's already going to be less than a week when we're going to be getting together on Friday at 2 p.m. And then a couple days after that, it's okay, you guys, I'll see you on Friday. So because I think what I have found is that if you make an appointment, kind of the ideal is usually 3 business days from that conversation, right? But if you've made an appointment 3 weeks out, like sometimes Michelle has done with me, I'm noticing that you're starting that reminding process like almost halfway in, or for sure a week before the appointment, to kind of refresh the commitment, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say about that, Dawn, is one of the things I also do, and Courtney has seen me do this, is I use my ChatGPT assistant on the daily, and I use my assistant to draft text messages that are like difficult conversations that I want to articulate to some of these people. So, for example, we had a team lead that gave us a yes in January, and it is now July. And like, come on, that's 6 months that we're like chasing and recruit, like just it's just been we're not getting anywhere. And I was like, I just need to have like a difficult text message. And I had my AI assistant create one. Courtney saw it yesterday, and he freaking replied. But it was like basically saying it has been since January since we have had these conversations, and you told us you were going to come and you haven't. What is holding you back? So I would also just say that through those conversations, use your resources to draft the communication in a way that's going to give you a reaction.
Mhm. Mhm. So, Michelle, if people, I mean, we hear it all the time, especially with new agents or in general, actually, oh, I'm not good at recruiting, or I'm a like, why would someone want to talk to me? What do you tell them?
Well, first of all, people always like say, know your why, right? I feel like everyone knows their why. Or you should. I mean, like if you don't know your why, figure your why out. But I'm more of like, what is it that you want? So if you're trying, when you're saying to me, like somebody that says, well, I want to build my organization, I want to recruit, but I don't know if I'm good enough or I know enough. Well, what is it that you want? Like when you want to recruit, is it that you want to build an organization with 200 people? Is it 20 people? Is it 30 people? Because if it's like 12 people that you're trying to recruit, well, I mean, that's really easy. Should be. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not, then you need to get with the people that is working. Like I'm just learning from the people that are here. Dawn, Tom, these are all people, Brent, all these people have done it before us. They've all got on the phone, they've all made the calls, and you need to reach out and say, I need help. I need help. What can I do to get the confidence to do? And I would say start with that. What is it that you want? What is holding you back? And you may discover that recruiting's not actually it when you identify what it is that you're trying to do in your business. Does that make sense? It may be like, oh my gosh, I don't know that recruiting's actually what I want to do. Maybe I just want to do real estate or none of it at all. But figuring it out what it is and how you're going to get there. And if you don't have the confidence to do it, then figure out what's holding you back. Like, what are you afraid of? You're afraid of a no? Well, if you get a no, move on. Next. Right?
Well, and that could be applied to production as well. Oh, Dawn, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what Michelle's saying there about tying the why to your activity and so forth. And I do think people are naturally reluctant to reach out. And it reminds me of a conversation I had with a gentleman. Tom would know this guy, Richard Bristow. He was one of the top Coldwell Banker agents in our community here in Sacramento Metro. And I'll never forget when he did finally come and join the company, he sat me down at one point and he said, Don, shame on you. And I'm like, well, what's up, Richard? He goes, why did you never call me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I wasn't the person that recruited Richard. He was in one of my offices, but he's like, dude, I was right there the whole time. My point to you guys is that some of your people want to be wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, Richard's not going to call me up and say, hey, Don, why don't
Pick
you
me.
recruit the number one Coldwell Banker agent in the whole county or something? Right. But the fact is, it is ironic because sometimes I'll talk to top producers is they're like, no one's calling me, and there's this thought process that everyone's being called 30 times. Well,
Well,
no.
and the very same thing is true with a listing. I mean, how many times have you driven by on your way home your neighborhood and you see a sign, and then maybe you check in with them. I mean, to be honest with you, happened to me of a couple of years ago, and they had a garage sale after they listed their home, and they were like, Tom, we didn't know you're in real estate. I'm like, oh my gosh, how could you not know I was in real estate? But anyway, my bad. Um, they want to be wanted for sure.
Mhm.
People don't wake up in the morning with a referral gene. Hey, who can I refer to Dawn or Courtney or Michelle? So we need to just have those conversations. I love this. This is so awesome. Let's keep going.
Well, I actually was wondering if Clark is someone that Michelle and I have tried to mirror, who's done an amazing job over the years. Clark, would you mind just kind of talking a little bit about what you've been doing or what you've seen?
Well, first of all, I want to amen what Michelle is talking about. I think fortunes in the follow-up. I think if you break down our business to percentages, it's 25% prospecting, 75% follow-up and follow through. And of course, if you don't do the 25%, you don't have anybody to follow up and follow through with. So obviously, you got to lead with prospecting. Um, I, I'll just be a little transparent here. Honestly, I've never liked prospecting. And it just, I don't know what it is. I overcome it obviously, and I've done a lot of it. But that's why I'm so good at follow up and follow through, because I don't want to let anything kind of fall through the cracks. Because if I'm going to put myself out there, get out of my comfort zone and go and contact people and lift up the phone, the 90-pound phone or whatever it is, I'm going to make sure that it counts. And so I'm a meticulous, and I don't necessarily use a formal CRM, although I'm getting to that. My calendar is my CRM. I always live by BAM, book another meeting. And I don't leave in a meeting without another meeting booked. And I'm just meticulous that, as soon as I get off the phone with them, I'll just share a simple example. We shared actually through one of our people that we personally sponsored, a guy named Nick, contacted with a lady named Ames, top producer in California, San Jose, and also Nevada. And we brought her to EXPCon 2 years ago. She was like a yard from the finish line to get started, and stuff happened. Don't go into the details, but we all have dealt with this. I've always stayed in contact with her.
Mm.
She just signed her join app this morning.
Oh, wow.
And here's it is. Before every major event, I called her and talked to her, text her, and she's hasn't attended one. She almost came to Cabo, but she was already in Mexico on the other side of Mexico and couldn't make arrangements to get over there. So I reached out to her about Build and says, hey, we got a Build event coming on, and I'll tell you what, if you're interested in going, I would get you a VIP ticket, and well worth the investment. And so I did that. I actually booked her flight too, and she can only be there for the day, so she's going to fly in the morning, leave in the evening, but she was on camping when we were doing this, and she just came back from the Philippines, and I reached out to her as soon as I knew she came back from camping. She says, "Okay, I'm ready to make a move." Some other things happened at her brokerage, which did not treat her very well. And she said, I'm ready to move, and she's writing an offer today. So I mean, so but I say that to say, don't give up on people. There's always stay in contact with people. If I could say anything I've made a mistake on is not getting back to a person soon enough. And so I have a tickler list. In fact, a night before every day, I write down my 6 most important things to do that day, and I go by priority. And of course, getting from a new person and follow up are always the priority. And I just do that, and I constantly run the list. I'm old school like Brent. We all kind of were raised in the same environment. Brent and I were. And so I have my 8x11 sheet of paper, all my names on there. I check them off as I go, and I take about 30 to 60 minutes a day, and they're different times, and I go down that list and make sure I haven't missed anybody. Oh, I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. Oh, I haven't talked, and especially coming up to an event. Fortunately, we on a monthly basis we have events right here in Sacramento, so I'm always promoting the next one. And then we got Build coming up, and I've just really built an organization event to event. Now my organization is not the size I want it to be in EXP yet, but we built a large organization outside of EXP, and it's the same process. And I don't know if I answered your question, but anyway, so.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I like it with having your list. I think Michelle and I, when we came over to EXP, we were working a shared spreadsheet of names that we were just plugging in so we could see who was calling who.
Yep.
And now we transferred everything over to Lofty, and we're finding that we're getting a little more proficient with that.
Yeah.
So no, that's helpful. Thank you, Clark. And Dawn, go
You're
ahead.
welcome.
Yeah, I just want to mention that you guys, Clark is not in Tom and my organization, but he's definitely somebody that we look up to. And we feel really honored that he comes to our team meeting and contributes like he just
Well,
did.
thank you.
Absolutely. And you guys, the co-sponsorship system now in EXP, in my mind, has taken a company that I'd never been in a company that had this level of collaboration, and now it just 10x'd it. So you guys have an opportunity to co-sponsor with guys like Clark, who are literally legends in the industry of building sales organizations. So if, if one of us are not available, or you just want to partner with Clark,
Yeah.
which, by the way,
Available anytime.
a really good guy to get in relationship with. And I would encourage you to do so. There's a wealth of knowledge there.
Yeah, and I mean, the stories continue to go on about co-sponsoring. We've done about 9 of them now, and it is amazing. It is just, I mean, takes the burden off of you for sure, but also you feel confident in that person you're sponsoring out of your area that they're going to be taken care of, because it's very hard at a distance, as we all know. We've built businesses at distances, and it is ingenious. And I don't know if you're familiar with what they call game theory. But game theory, you change one rule in the game, and it changes the game. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I know Michelle and I have helped with 3 of them so far, and we have Kelly Leach here with us, who is here because of a co-sponsorship as well. And
Great.
Kelly, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? You're what, a month in here with us, approximately?
May 15th is when I jumped, and I was one of those that had zero plans of leaving my brokerage. And then I just thought, oh, it's coffee. It's no big thing. I go for coffee. It's great. Catch up with Christine and then meet Michelle. And then it was like, I knew I was going. I just didn't know when. And then I was already coaching with an EXP agent, but she wasn't really heavy into agent attraction at the time and didn't really push. She had just total respect for where I was in my current brokerage. And I had just spent a boatload of money on signage and branding with the previous brokerage. And I went, I guess it's only money. I'll make more. So, and then I didn't tell anybody. Someone let the cat out of the bag, and my broker called me, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going now because he knows. So, people that wait, I mean, it's only costing you money. I mean, I'm getting ready to cap, and so I'm only 2 months in. So I'll hopefully be capped by mid-August is what I'm thinking. But
Great.
the co-sponsorship thing is just amazing, because not only do I get to join in on this organization, I get the benefit of my co-sponsors organization, which is just, I mean, yeah, I'm so impressed by everybody willing to share the collaboration, the tools. I'm still super overwhelmed. So that alone is what, being able to take advantage of both is just phenomenal for me.
Raise your
And bringing in my team too. Like Alex is on, under me, so she gets that benefit as well, which is just unbelievable.
Yep.
Does everyone here understand all the ins and outs of co-sponsorship, or is there anybody that is still a little bit confused by it? If you are, raise your hand.
Why don't you just cover the basics real quick for all of this.
I was gonna see maybe Dawn. I mean, I feel like Dawn, you have a really good overview of, or Michelle.
Yeah.
I'll give just a quick
Oh, Tom.
analogy that I heard, and then Dawn can share.
Oh, no.
So, everybody knows how to copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. So it's just really, really similar to that. You just basically copy and paste. So let's just say, for example, I mean, I've co-sponsored with, Kyle Whistle, with Jay Kinder. I mean, you just copy Jay Kinder and then you paste him. He will be actually in your second level. Um, he'll be in your first level. And then whoever you want to bring in and sponsor, will be below him. Okay, so it's copy of you, and you copy everything that he's doing already, all of his marketing, his experience, his lead generation, everything he does. It's like copy and paste. So you're able to take advantage of that. And so is the person that you're sponsoring. And if you're the primary sponsor, of course, your partners, your upline will be able to share in the revenue share of that. So, Don, how was that?
Geez, I love the copy paste thing, man.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Tom, the thing that came to mind when you were sharing that also was, did you guys recognize the names Jay Kinder and Kyle Whistle? Okay, these are not bumps on a log. Okay. They're legends like Clark. Okay, so one of the things that you might be thinking about is, I mean, we're very blessed with our organization. We have, I think, a uniquely strong support structure for your recruits. That being said, you guys now have an opportunity to get in business with pretty much anyone in the entire company. Yesterday I was talking to an independent broker in Louisiana, of all places. And I think I'm going to end up getting her, and I think I'm going to end up co-sponsoring with Daniel Beer. And so if you've seen somebody up on stage, like, don't leave all the courage to Michele. If you want to get to know Gina, go co-sponsor somebody with her. Okay. How many other real estate shows are there out there, right? Go DM somebody and see if you can have Gina co-sponsor with you, right? My point is, we've got this like 87,000 person brain trust with all of these spectacular people, and they're now all available to you. Take advantage of it.
Perfect. And Tom, sorry, I just heard you earlier. I thought you were telling me to explain it. I was like, that's okay. One of you guys.
Oh, you're great. I love it.
Okay, so let's end with Michele. If someone here wants to build a powerhouse organization, what's the one thing they need to do right now?
Okay, well, I would say if you are struggling with like what you need to do, reach out to one of us and get some direction, because you're not a lone wolf out there. Like what Don just said, this huge organization is here to help each and every one of us, which I just want to mention, prior to Courtney and I coming to EXP, we were kind of capped off at us. Like the buck stopped with us, which was cool for a minute, right? But now it's really changed our lives. So I just want to mention, I'm looking at like everyone that's on this call. Like I invited people to be here today, and there's people on here that are here that aren't with our organization. So I was writing down at least 4 people that are on this call that are currently not with EXP, and I want to say thank you for coming. But I invite these people because I want them to see all of us, all of these amazing individuals that are here. And this is like nothing, right? How many people are on here? 28? Oh my gosh. Like go to a build event, go to Cabo. Like things will change for you. Like we have a podcast. We have a mastermind now. I'm so connected with all these people. I could call Dawn right now and be like, Dawn, I need help with something. And it could be personal. It's not even just professional. So, what a blessing for my life and my family's life. Like that's incredible. And all I'm doing is trying to help people, have the same type of blessing in their lives. So, I would say if you need help in anything, just reach out to any one of us and we'll be happy to help in any way that we can. I know that sounds silly, but that's the honest to God truth.
It is.
Thank you, Michele. Does anyone have any questions in general, for the general or in general?
Christine, you've been with us a minute now, and you've been able to experience our culture. Why don't you talk about your interactions with Michele and Courtney and the team?
Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. I feel brand new. Like almost like, I mean, here I've been in the business 21 years and it's just changed everything. And like what Kelly was saying, it's like once you see it, you just can't unsee it. You know, you can try to, okay, if I did this and did that, and there's just nothing you could do. Like we're literally in our own universe, and I think it's amazing.
Christine's been great. She's kicking butt down in the Central Valley. If anyone needs help in Central California, we've got some good realtors on this call today.
And I think I would just say, like, when you're looking to build and connect with people, like closing for just that, like, is it unreasonable to take 15 minutes of your time that could totally change your life? And let me connect you with the people in our organization so you can hear how it's helped them. That's not unreasonable. Really.
Yeah, I love that.
Who's going to say no to that? Courtney saw a message from a team last night on Instagram that I showed her. She's like, she said no to me. And then I hit her back with that and she's like, "Oh yeah, I could do that." You know? Like come on. Like what's the worst case? You make a friend? Who doesn't want a friend?
Yep.
Yeah, and by the way, I have a coach that I meet with every Wednesday, and one of the things that he encouraged me to do, which I am maintaining, I'm at 11 right now, is just keeping a little baseball score of the rejections that I'm able to accumulate.
Mm.
Right? And it's nobody likes being rejected, okay? But you can't get to the prize without getting in the batter's box, right? And so I have set a goal of getting to 100 on my little card, and so now it's funny because each week he's asking me, okay, what's your count, right? And I had better have that count going up. Otherwise, hey, what were you doing? Were you on vacation this week? What was going on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then I want to know the count on conversion.
Pretty high.
You think?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And Tom, you want to wrap us up?
Yes, this is amazing. I wrote down a full yellow page. I'm like Brent Gove and Clark Broom. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that Michele, you first stated grit, and we have to have that grit. Doing the reps, blocking and tackling, and having those conversations, right? And picking up that damn phone, right? And having conversations. And it's almost like so many people worry about what they say. Don't worry about what you say. Just be real, be yourself. And I heard Brent or somebody say, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person on the same way. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And you're only going to know just by having those conversations and by having those follow-up conversations, right? I love that stat. 75% is from follow-up and follow through. I love that. So, and talking about strengths, I'm reading an amazing book, and it's 10x is easier than 2x. And
Great
we
book.
all need to know our superpower. If you don't have it, get it, read it. And it basically talks about staying in your superpower. Identify unique ability, and then eliminate that 80%. So that's, have some great takeaways. So, but hey, next week, listen to this. We have the previous CEO of Keller Williams Realty. He just recently joined eXp Realty, none other than Chris Heller. I mean, his background from real estate, from an individual agent to one of the biggest teams in the country to the biggest leaders. So he's going to be here next week. Chris Heller, you don't want to miss it. Same time, same channel. So now you all got your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. See y'all later. Thank you guys.
Later.
Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye now.
Yeah.